Great day for a coach's show. It's the Jud Dryden Show right here on Bedford County Sports Live. Big win 34-24 over Columbia. And the Coach Dryden Show is brought to you every week right here on Bedford County Sports Live by Shelbyville Lumber, 917 North Main Street. Your true value hardware dealer, 931-684-5731. Whether you're a pro or a do-it-yourself person, their top-notch staff's got you covered. Coach, you ever walk into a store, one of these chain stores, and you're looking for a nut or a part, and next thing you know, it's 10 minutes later, there's 3 or 4 people. Not a Shelbyville Lumber. You ask somebody where something is, and they'll take you right there to it. And inside of Shelbyville Lumber, if you get to the plumbing section, what do you do, Coach?
I believe you turn right.
You hang a right. And then you're at SLC. I'm going to do it today. Firearms right here in Shelbyville. Mike Matusik, Chris Cartwright, and the gang. Your outdoor gun ammo specialist. And it's 931-684-5731. Hunting season's just around the corner, Coach.
It sure is.
Somebody might want to get a gun or get their gun sighted in, get it cleaned. They do gun cleaning as well down at SLC Firearms. Coach, wonderful day for a show.
It is.
What a big win, 34-24 over Columbia. It was the tale of odd and even quarters.
Yes, very much so. It was just like we talked on Saturday. It was, we made some mistakes. They took advantage of it, came with a good game plan first quarter. We adjusted second quarter, tied everything up going in, had a chance to potentially score at the end of the first half. But even though a great ball by Steven to get in the end zone and give those guys a chance, just didn't quite fall that way. Come out third quarter, just basically a repeat of the first quarter. And we eventually get into the fourth, make some more adjustments, and come out on top. And so that's just the grit, the perseverance, the mindset of our guys.
When we get down 14-0, Steven hits LeBron. LeBron goes down the sidelines. I thought he was going to score. He didn't, but it wasn't long after that.
Right.
Robert comes back with a big 16-yard run, 14-7, and then Steven Bobo makes an incredible run of 67 yards.
Sure does.
That's what happens when you sell out to the running back, isn't it?
It is, and that's pretty much what happened. And I can't blame him. I mean, you got a running back that's coming in with 600+ yards on the season at that point.
Right.
And, we were one-dimensional coming into that game for the most part, and so they matched up better with our athletes wide receiver than other teams have, and so they tried to take that away, and and they figured they stop Robert, force somebody else to make a play. But the nice thing is we have other guys that can make plays too. So as the season progresses, we become more, I wouldn't say balanced run pass wise, but balanced in who carries the load and who the targets are, and it'll become tougher and tougher to defend us. And as our offensive line improves continuously, it's going to get harder on teams to stop us.
And towards the end of the first half, Chandler Jones, let's give him a shout out. That was a beautiful interception and a key moment right there. Had the momentum going our way, but a great pick by him.
He looked good on that. He did everything he was supposed to, and it fell right in his lap, and that was a big deal for us. And he made a great play. So you got to give
tons of laundry right after that on the field.
Lots of laundry.
But I thought he got late hit too. I don't know if they ever called it, but I thought they sure popped him.
They got him a couple of yards out of bounds. The official missed it, and it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of the game. So,
all right, we're gonna key up our offensive player of the game real quick, and it's Steven Bobo once again. 11 carries, 127 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 for 13 through the air for 132. Let's take a look at Steven Bobo right here. Showing the best part of the Jud Dryden Show, brought to you by Bedford County Sports Live, and Shelbyville Lumber is getting to interview some of these outstanding young men. And this week, for the second time this year, our offensive player of the week is the quarterback, a sophomore, Steven Bobo. And Steven, big game.
Yes, sir. Hard game.
Were you surprised as we were of course, we're watching different film than you, how big they were in person? That kind of surprised me a little bit. I didn't think they were quite that big as they turned out to be in person.
I didn't either. They had several big people on the O-line and the D-line. Number 50 was massive. Number 77, they were just really big. I didn't expect that.
Early in the ball game, we find ourselves in a hole. We're down 14-0. Then you hit a pass to LeBron. Take me through what happened there and what was going on with that play.
Okay, so we faked it right, and I fake tossed it to Maddox, and then I looked left. LeBron ran a great route, and it was a duck, but it was fine. He just tipped it to himself, and he just accelerated. He's really fast.
And then we were able to run the football into the end zone with Robert Bailey for the touchdown. And then here comes the big play, 14-7.
and we run, and obviously they're keying on Robert. They're not going to let him run. They've got 8-9 men in the box. Tell me about this play.
Which one?
The run. I want to talk about the. It's where you look. I've seen it with 67. I've seen it with 73. But one thing, you were a blur.
Oh, well, I'm not going to say too much, but basically I can throw it to the outsides or I can run it. Obviously, had some dudes pulling, and there's some big dudes creating some big holes, and I just ran right in between it.
And the misdirection there, of course, was the defense was keen on expecting Bailey to get the ball, and then you're able to take it and go the other way with it.
Yeah, I'm really like a secondary runner since Robert's so good and makes so many dudes miss, so they don't really expect me to run it that way.
Well, we get the game tied back up, and then the third quarter came around, and we found ourselves in a hole again, this time 24-14. There's 6 minutes to go in the game. You're down 10. Was there any doubt in your mind we were going to win that football game?
Not really. It did come across, but not really.
Well, with 3 minutes to go, David Thomas and I were worried because we're down 20 with 3 minutes to go. And then, of course, you have a nice touchdown run, but a great drive. I want to talk on the one key play of the game for David and I both was, it's 3rd and 9, we're going down, and you're able to hit your brother. Tell me about that play. And then your brother makes a great play with the football, pulls it, and gets the first down. That was key.
So that was a scheme drawn out by Coach Hunsaker. Really smart. He really spent the time, made that decision. Obviously, I read the outside backer. He drove down to Robert, wanted to stop him, and the window was there. It worked out.
It was great your brother was able to reach that football out and us not have to go for it on a 4th down.
100%.
All right, then we get another great play your brother made again, though, is when we get the onside / pooch kick, however you want to look at it. Now things are rolling our way, 24-21, and the confidence level had to be high.
100%. We were rolling. We had the momentum.
Rolling and had the momentum. I love it. You were 7 of 13 passing, 132 yards, 11 rushes, 129 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And I think the one thing that a lot of people don't realize, being the quarterback, you're on the field and you're taking every snap. When do you come off the field on defense?
Just to talk to Coach Hunsaker.
But, again, I think we don't have the stats yet, but I think you had 9-10 tackles in this game on defense.
They were just running the ball, so I just plugged in at linebacker pretty much and just reacted off the pulling guards.
Outstanding game. This week's homecoming got Wilson Central coming in, another big 6A team, and I assume they're going to be big just like the last 2 teams were.
They are, although our preparation is going to be really good. We have awesome coaches, and we'll get ready.
All right. This is Stephen Bobo, your Offensive Player of the Week, right here on the Jud Dryden Show, and we'll be right back.
Coach, let's talk a little bit. Just Stephen, incredible young man, kind of funny right there, wasn't he? Were you worried with 3 minutes to go?
I don't know that worry is the right word. The thing about us right now and our guys is if there's still time on the clock, we feel like we have a chance. And so that kind of overshadows everything. Yes, we need to make plays. Yes, we had to execute. Yes, we had to do a lot of things. But with 3 minutes left on the clock, there's still a lot of time. And knowing that we're prepared, special teams wise, if we got to have any type of onside kick, if knowing the explosive threats we have on offense, knowing that our defense can come up big in moments, all those things play in. So it's was there concern that we'd run out of time? Yes, but as long as we had enough time on the clock, we felt like we were in this thing. We were going to be able to do something with it.
And, Coach, the last 2 weeks you've been playing 2 very big teams, and then we've had offensive line issues from a standpoint. Then we're going to get to our lineman of the week here in a minute. But you lost your time. You had to just move folks around. It's just next man up, wasn't it?
It's all since the first scrimmage. It feels like we've had a different lineup in the offensive line every week. And, I mean, credit to Coach Keeley, credit to Coach Hunsaker for figuring it out and putting guys in positions to be able to make blocks and do things correctly. It's just
Talk to me about some of the kids that did get moved and how that worked out.
So we had starting left tackle was out with a concussion, so that forced a change, and we took Palmer from guard, put him at left tackle, and inserted Ethan McBee, who is undersized but as scrappy as they come. He played very, very well, was giving up at times 100 pounds, 120 pounds to a guy, and still just fought his tail off. Then Colton Clardy has moved in and out of there to replace guys. And And so really the only constants have been, and then Ian Matusik being able to move from center to guard to allow for Ethan to come in. So really the only constants in position so far have been Chandler Cates and Caleb Smith. And so those guys, they're so intelligent that they're able to help direct traffic with those guys that are moving into a new spot, or moving into a spot for the first time, or into a new spot. So Palmer Edwards is just ball player. He understands. He's intelligent, very discerning young man. So and Ian Matusik same way. They're all that way, to be honest. But just being able to kind of plug and play has been a big deal for us this year, and we're looking at guys starting to finally come back off injuries and other things. So that's been good for us, is that we've been able to survive so far. We hope we have no reason to believe we won't continue to survive until we get everybody back, and then we'll see what the rest of the season brings.
All right, we're going to do our lineman of the week right here, and it's Ethan McBee, and here's our interview we did with him.
Sponsored by Shelbyville Lumber and the Bedford County Sports Live, and it's more great interviews with these kids. Our lineman of the week is Ethan McBee, a sophomore. Who's your mom and dad?
Ron and Christina McBee.
You got a brother that played a little bit of football here too, don't you?
Yes, sir. I had two of them.
They both played here, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we've had a lot of injuries on the offensive line, had to do some shuffling around. Did you expect to start at center the last 2 weeks?
No, sir. It was kind of mind-blowing because I haven't really practiced much offense. And I guess they just was like, we'll give them a shot. And I stepped up to the plate and did what I had to do.
All right, last two games you probably played the two best defensive lines you may not see again until the playoffs. Because, I mean, Coffee County's D-line is absolutely for real. But was the size of both these teams, they were both quite big. Did you have trouble with the size?
Kind of. But I played with leverage and kept driving my feet and had my two good right guards, my right guard and left guard, to help me there. So
it's important to have somebody like Matusik beside you that's a senior to kind of guide you through in games like that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell me what the chain means.
The chain means we all link together and come together and like brotherhood, so we can lean on right or left person that we need to.
Now, you told me about playing defense. What do you play on defense?
Defensive end.
Defensive end. Well, you had a great job at center, and I think people don't realize how important in a spread defense, that snap of that ball, it's everything, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, real quick, who's your position coach?
Adrian Keeley.
Are they hard on you?
Yes, sir. He pushes us, makes us drive every day and get better.
Now, that's one thing we're always trying to do. Big week this week, another big 6A team, another big team coming in here for homecoming. Are you boys ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Ethan McBee, a center and a sophomore. You got 2 more years after this up here to play a little football for the Golden Eagles. Well, we're going to be right back with our defensive player in just a minute.
Another fine young man, Coach.
He is. It's funny, he said, talking about leverage, moving his feet, that's the wrestling background he brings. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the things that we recognized in him early. He's got a high wind motor, so to speak. That thing is running at 2,000-3,000 RPMs all the time, and so he plays hard. He plays with leverage. He's intuitive up there, and so it gave him a chance, and he took full advantage of it. So we're excited to see how he played.
All right, we're going to talk some defense a little bit here, Coach. They were going down. It's 24-14 Columbia. It's 4th and 7. We get a big stop. We jump off sides. They were going to kick a field goal. Mm-hmm. And we jump off sides, 4th and 2. What happens on that play? We stuff it.
We do. We got lined up correctly. We fit correctly and played downhill. And it was one of those plays that we know we're capable of. And it finally, everything just pretty well coalesced into us making a play. And it was great to see us in that moment. We didn't freeze. We didn't have any of those things you worry about, like deer in the headlight kind of deal. We just lined up and played football for a snap, and we just happened to play better than they did in that snap, in that moment, which is what we talk about a lot. You have to play in the moment. So not worrying about what happened before or what's going on next, and just simply playing right now. So that's a big deal for us.
After that, of course, we came down and scored 24-21, but back to the defense in the fourth quarter, I did notice, you talked about earlier, Palmer Edwards. He had a really good game on defense.
He sure did.
He wasn't the only one.
No, he wasn't. I mean, we had multiple guys making plays. All
Over the place.
And,
LaVorn was making plays. You get your D line, our player of the week. We're getting to in a minute. But talk to me about Robert Bailey coming in the fourth quarter on defense. That was huge for us.
Yeah, well, and what that did is we knew that, based on situational time on the clock and whatnot, they're down. They're going to have to go a little more spread type offense instead of what they've been doing, which Robert's one of the fastest guys we have on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get him out there. Chandler had played well up until that point, but it was they go into 10 personnel where there's no tight end on the field. And we need to match up athlete for athlete, and they've got plenty.
They got plenty of athletes.
And so that we pulled Chandler, and credit Chandler. He understood and knew. So Robert goes out, and you got him on one side, you got Zion on the other, and that's hard to deal with at outside linebacker with those two kind of athletes.
Right.
And so where Robert is fast, quick, and is able to stay step for step with anybody, Zion is long as can be, and it's got a great first step, and he's hard to get away from. So making that change and then changing the coverage structure helped us out and made it really tough on him.
All right, let's get ready for our defensive player of the game. And I had him down with 2 sacks is what I had him down, Zion Bonner. He had an excellent game, and here's his interview.
It's time now for the Defensive Player of the Week on the Jud Dryden Show, sponsored by Shelbyville Lumber and Bedford County Sports Live. Number 10, a relatively tall individual, Zion Bonner, is our Player of the Week. And Zion, with that length, how does that help you playing outside linebacker?
It helped me in pass coverage, and help contain the quarterback, running backs. They like to try to be shifty on me, my arms. I could just easily reach them, and I don't really know.
Well, speed and length are obviously your advantages. Who's your position coach?
Coach Trice.
Is he hard on you?
Yes, sir.
Just a little bit. All right, the last 2 weeks we played 2 huge offensive lines. How did we have to adjust defensively because of the size of Coffee and the size of Columbia?
Especially outside, we had to adjust because we're not really running deep in our outside linebackers, and we're not really that big either. So we had to really just make sure we keep outside and don't let anyone outside of us, and really stop the run coverage.
Well, the one thing I'll say for you, I had you down with 2 sacks. I don't know if I was right or wrong, but I had you with 2 in the fourth quarter. In that fourth quarter, what was it like in a game like that with the crowd the way it was, making the comeback? How exciting was it for you?
It was really just a boost for us, especially on defensive side of the ball. It really turned me up and really gave me juice.
And juice it was. Those 2 sacks were exciting. What a great ball game it was. Tell me about the hammer you got in your hand.
The hammer, it really represents grit and ownership. It's really,
you got to be the alpha, don't you?
You got to be the alpha. You got to be outstanding at practice. Really, the leader for real.
All right, you're great at the pass rush. Obviously, that's where you excel. What are your other responsibilities? Is it setting the edge in the run game, and how much do you do in coverage?
Yeah, we are to stop the run game. We're not supposed to let the running back or QB outside of us. And in pass coverage, we really not really in that, but we are. And we really just have the tight ends for real.
But if you guys can get the pass rush going and they're going to throw the ball, that's where this defense excels, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I've got a big game coming up. It's homecoming. We got Wilson Central coming in here, and I want everybody to come out and support the Golden Eagles. And Zion, you play a little basketball too, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do.
I can see you playing a little bit for Coach Young in that frame right there. 2 sports, football and basketball. Which sport do you like better?
Football, like the contact.
Well, that's always good to hear too. All right, this is Zion Bonner. He is a senior outside linebacker for the Shelbyville Golden Eagles. Zion, good luck to you on Friday night.
Thanks.
Coach, always good to see a pass rusher.
Yeah, he is that for sure. He's got a great first step. He's able with the leverage he gets from that length. He's able to keep hands off and get past guys that most can't get past. So he's a good one.
With those long arms, the ability to bat the ball.
Yeah. So he makes it tough. He makes it tough on offenses.
All right. Well, You can rehash this for me. It was 24-14 on the run Stephen made on the 25-yard run for a touchdown. That was fourth down, wasn't it? Or was it? David and I were talking before.
I believe it was, yeah.
It was a fourth down conversion.
Yep.
I think it was fourth and short. He gets to the outside and takes off and breaks it.
Yep.
So it's 24-21. We got it to 3. Talked about it again, but we want to talk about it one more time. Betzelberger and then the effort William gives you to go get that football was just phenomenal.
It was, and we had, it was one of those things that was scouted up. We knew that we felt like we knew that there was no way they were going to allow us to have the same kind of onside that we had the previous year. So we had 2 that we could have dialed up based on how they chose to line up. They gave us the more high risk, I guess, as far as.
I was surprised there was a gap of 15 yards like that.
It was more because that becomes more. That deep becomes more of a 50-50 ball. It takes a lot of effort and speed to get down there on time, and all their guy has to do is just cover it up, or even fair catch it if you can get underneath it, and,
right.
and it's over. But based on the way they lined up, they gave it to us, and so we took our shot, and Ben hit the perfect ball.
Yes, he did.
In not only on the target line, but also the height of it, just giving us a chance to get down there, and Willie recovers, and we've got our shot.
And that big 3rd and 9 pass, we talked about it before, Bobo to Bobo,
Yeah.
but what a job by William to know
Right.
to get that first down.
I agree. And
That way we don't have to go 4 and 4
it's just
now.
awareness. It's a senior that's been playing since he's a sophomore, on the varsity field. So it's big. We've got guys we can rely on. It's nice to have.
And I still don't see how Steven scores on what a 2-yard run there, 10.
Yeah.
I do not see how he got in there.
Just the big thing there is they were a little bit on their heels and a little bit off
Right.
the ball, which allowed him to get some momentum instead of them crowding the line of scrimmage and him having to get through it at the line of scrimmage. Just that extra yard and a half of vertical space, is what we preach all the time, not to give up vertical space to ball carriers. And so you saw right there what a 160 pounds
Right.
can do to guys that are, outweigh him by 20, 30 pounds. A little bit of vertical space is bad. So for a tackler, and that's what happened.
So we get up there. Now we kick off to them.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you can really pin your ears back. There's 32 seconds
Yeah.
to go in the game. You know they're going to
Very
throw it.
one-dimensional. Yeah.
And Columbia goes backwards, and then pick 6
Right.
for Lavon.
Yep. He bobbled ball, he grabs it in the air, takes it in, and it pretty well seals everything. So I mean, there was they come back and they had one or two plays maybe after that. We would come back again, and so it was.
But the pressure was there.
It was, and it was. We were able to get the right guys in personnel wise, be able to get into more of a prevent style, even though it was a high pressure prevent. Right. So it was fun. It was fun to watch it finish that way.
Well, again, today's show is brought to you by SLC Firearms inside a Shovel Lumber. Get to the plumbing, coach. What we do then?
Turn right.
Turn right. Get in there and see Mike Matusik, Chris Cartwright, and all the guys for all your shooting gun and outdoor needs inside of Shelbyville Lumber. And thank them for sponsoring the show today. Homecoming. A lot of coaches don't like homecoming. Wish we didn't even have it.
This coach doesn't like homecoming either. So it's
distraction city.
It is. There's a lot of distractions, but I will say we've had 2 good practices this week.
Okay, good.
Which is not common. And so there's no reason to think that we won't have one on Wednesday and Thursday as well. So it's been good. These guys are older, more mature, and so they're able to handle those kind of things much better than your average team can. So we're pretty excited. We hope to be able to play well Friday night, and we welcome Wilson Central in, and Lord willing, come away with another win and a well played ball game.
Another game of interest inside the regions is Lincoln County at Tullahoma. That one might be kind of interesting.
It could be. That's going to be one of those that gives us an idea of what we're looking at moving forward. I think Lincoln County, Columbia Central, in our opinion, Columbia Central has all the athletes to win the region. Lincoln County has all the guys coming back to win the region, and so that's been big. And then, of course, Tullahoma is well coached, and they're playing well right now too. So who the heck knows how everything's going to go? It's crazy out there.
Dave Thomas and I were talking too. We kind of felt sorry for whoever had to play Columbia this week. And I believe it's Spring Hill, and I feel sorry for Spring Hill this week because I would say Columbia's going to be angry.
Yeah, it's and it's we could very well have a chance to see them again in the quarterfinals, and that'll be a knockdown drag.
Oh, absolutely.
We have to take care of business ourselves just like they do. But I mean, that's out there on the horizon as a potential game for us. So we gotta be very aware of it.
Wilson Central's 2-2. Tell me what they like to do on offense and defense.
Offensively, they'll run the ball. They'll line up in some different looks, things like that. Very similar to what they did last year. Defensively, they're constantly rotating through fronts and giving different looks, a lot like Siegel did. So it may, it's going to be a diagnosis issue. If we can diagnose it, get it down to our kids, and let them go line up, play football, that's going to be the big thing on both sides of the ball.
Food Truck Friday?
Food Truck Friday. It's homecoming. It's going to be exciting. We're looking hope for a big crowd.
You need a big crowd coming out.
Yeah, and the weather's supposed to be nice.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be too hot, is it?
Yeah. Well, the high during the day is, I think, 89 or 90, but it's supposed to
Cools
drop
on off.
pretty fast once the sun starts going down. So we should be in the mid 70s by the time we kick off. So yeah, it'll be comfortable.
Good enough. Everybody get out and support the Golden Eagles. They're at home against Wilson Central, and it is homecoming. And after this one, Coach, it's all region the rest of the way, right?
Yes, sir.
Every game's a region game.
Yeah, and there is one. There has been one mistake on our schedule apparently that we just caught this week. The Tullahoma game at the end of the season will be on the Friday, November 1st, not Halloween.
Okay, so it's not going to be on Thursday.
Correct. It'll be a Friday night game.
Okay, that's interesting.
So,
All right, good luck, Coach.
thank you.
Try to go out and get a